Are we supposed to be talking louder? Because I just want to pretend like it's my best friend. I'm just telling them a secret. How are you?
Little sneaky secret.
Say sneaky semen.
What?
That's how unplanned pregnancies happen with sneaky semen. We haven't recorded audio yet, have we?
Yeah, we got everything going.
Oh, we're going? Okay. I didn't realize I'm sitting here watching you play. Hello and welcome to Strange Happy Hour. I am one of your hosts, Brent the Jester Head Metcalf, along to my left, concentrating really hard so don't distract him.
Mark Blover.
And on to my right.
Handsome John.
And as you can see, we are here for another game night here in the month of November. We were discussing amongst ourselves whether we were going to do Don't Starve, but we decided that with the length of these videos, just a little too short, so Handsome John here decided that we should play
Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect, which
Beautiful game.
is a gorgeous game. Wonderful rendition of the titular title, Tetris. If you have not picked it up, you can play it on PC and PS4, and it comes with a VR component. So.
Yeah, which is also really cool and engrossing.
Yeah, it will get you lost for hours, and I mean that quite literally. Yes.
The music, the graphics, it is just so much fun to play.
So while this is not necessarily the best way to experience this game, please take our word for it that it's worth experiencing yourself and watch us as we stumble through, much like the dispatcher, who is recovering quite well, I will say.
From the
nightmare I was
ridiculousness.
handed.
Listen, I did really well for my level. I finished it. Where are you at?
Right? I know. I just can't imagine how anybody could not deal with the that you left.
And while he played through Tetris Effect and we passed the controller around and we sip on this wonderful Glenlivet, what year?
15?
15? Smells spectacular. We're also going to talk about some of the news that happened this week. The second week in November, is that right? First week? Yeah, I don't know. Technically, I believe it's the first week. It's the first full week, right?
It's the first full week.
Yes.
So, of course, we're going to talk about the fact that Sony has shipped 102 million PS4 units. The only reason we're going to talk about this is because if you actually look at the numbers here, this makes the PS4 either the second most successful console of all time, if you don't include handheld, or the fourth most successful console of all time if you include handheld. So Sony has created amongst themselves a dynamite product that is not going to end. It's going to continue in sales. We saw this with PS3, right? PS3 technically ended in 2013, but they continued to sell over and over again.
They had a good comeback.
PS2 specifically made, I think it was close to 25 million units in sales after we moved to PS3. I could be wrong there, but they made a large chunk because the PS2 was selling quite well in Brazil of all places for over 10 years after they ended it.
No. This is not going
I'm
well.
sorry.
This is not going well.
He is falling apart at the seams, folks.
He'll come back. He'll come into the club.
Oh, no, God. That's it. It's done. It happened.
And that's Tetris.
That is Tetris in its whole.
Do you know what these are called? The blocks. Does anybody know? Fun fact of the day: Tetrinos.
Tetrinos? Okay.
Tetrinos, that's what they're called.
Because I know Tetris is technically the 4-bar salute.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're full of a lot of BS.
No, it's true.
Okay, all right.
That's true. Look it up. You can fact check me live while you watch this. Will I know what you fact checked me on?
No.
No, not at all. But it can be live for you, buddy. Anyways, besides that, I mean, 102 million units is also not the end of this life cycle. We have all the way till next fall, more than likely, before PS5 comes out. You know, they're slowing down in sales. They actually showed that their video game division specifically isn't making the same revenue it was previously, but that makes sense. We are now in an era of everyone waiting for the next big thing. So that being said, 102 million units surpassed the PS3, which was at 87 million units, surpassed the Wii at 100 million units. It only has to beat out, if I remember correctly, the DS, the Game Boy, and PS2. Wow. So looking at the sales charts, Sony either has, again, if you don't include handhelds, 4 of the 5 slots for the top selling console of all time. If you include handhelds and you include the top 10, they have 5 out of 5. Because the PSP is at the bottom, at number 10. So they're killing it.
They really are. I mean, to be fair, the PS4 is a wonderful console.
Which is what we're playing on right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's... what move is that?
What was that?
What do you mean?
You could have jumped. Whatever. You know what? You got you, buddy. I have faith in you.
Yeah, you see me? I didn't give him this crap. I'm doing great now, right?
You're doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know about great.
No, I mean it's a wonderful console. I really am proud to see that they're doing as well as they are.
Agreed.
And love the fact that I guess they've finally taken a throne here, or taken a definitive throne.
Yeah, there's definitely not a way in which Xbox can come back, not in the time period that we have going forward. Xbox stopped delivering numbers, right? So we actually don't officially know Xbox One sales, but we can assume it's probably somewhere around 43 to 45 million.
The reason why they don't want to release those numbers.
That would be correct.
You're gonna hit me with it anyway.
Yeah, you got screwed, buddy. But nonetheless, they did make those sales numbers. My prediction will be by the time we hit PS5, they're probably going to hit somewhere around 115 million. I don't think it's going to get much higher than that because their sales have definitely slowed. I mean, anybody who has a PS4 in the gaming sphere, probably keeping their PS4. They may upgrade to a PlayStation 4 Pro, but at this point in time, it's kind of not necessary. We've got
may as well just wait for the next generation.
Exactly.
So like, there's really no point.
Speaking of PlayStation news, I did want to point out that the head of global second-party games, Gio Corsi, has left. Gio Corsi is someone who means a lot to me in a very peripheral manner because he is one of the few people at Sony after the Vita's launch that worked very hard to support the handheld.
Okay.
Now, there were others as well, but he is one who his job was to work as a second-party purveyor. So he would go to indie developers, say, we want to release this title on PS4, PS3, PS Vita. We want to help you. What can we do to get you on our console?
I'm assuming he left because he doesn't want to support that console.
No, I think he left because he was moving on to greener pastures. You heathen! How dare you? But
I'm talking about me or him.
I'm talking about you. He brought a ton of life to our handheld. He kept it going. No, I mean Gio is the person who had PlayStation. Was their event every year that they do that they didn't do this year. PlayStation Experience was walking on stage in his hockey jersey, which he wears every year, with his nice goatee, carrying the Vita, saying this game is coming out on PS4, PS3, and Vita. I mean, this man was passionate.
Oh man, I f***ed that up.
Oh no!
You did something.
Oh yeah, I did. I had a brain fart.
What? Just okay.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. I don't understand.
It's hard to watch.
You move stuff really quickly and it scares me. I just want to point that out. But
that was the scariest one I think I've seen yet.
he is not the only person to leave PlayStation. It's another reason I want to talk about this is because they seem to be losing a lot of the leadership that brought PS4 to this point, that dug them out of PS3. Not necessarily saying that like this is the end of it, we're gonna have to worry, but it is something to discuss because we're about to go into PS5, and it seems like we have Stadia on the board, we've got Xbox Project Scarlet, right? So they have.
I did what you couldn't do.
I don't know about that.
Which actually, our next game night should be on Stadia.
It will be for sure because it'll be in this household. I'm so excited.
It will.
Yeah.
It'll be in several places.
So
I'm excited to see exactly how good they're. It's like okay.
it'll be our next game night if it works well. That was my little Stadia joke.
I think the point is we should make it game night no matter what.
Okay, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, even if it goes bad, that'd be
You'll
great.
see it.
You'll see it
live
first.
for you.
Live-ish.
Live for you. That's what it is.
Yeah, live for that.
Television should hire me because I can handle all of this marketing humba jumbo. It's live for you, viewer. Yes, we will do Stadia, but you know they've lost Sean Layden, who left in a very weird manner. We've talked about it in the show before.
Which we still haven't heard anything about, really.
Well, we know he left for sure.
Yeah.
But according to a couple of people on Twitter specifically, he is supporting PlayStation still. He's still like retweeting their stuff and showing support in that regard. We just don't know why. It's a very different leave than say like Reggie Fils-Aimé, who left Nintendo of America. He's working for the Cornell University for their business school.
Yeah.
Like recently was on Twitter talking about his different experiences in Nintendo and what he learned. So he's taken his experience in Nintendo, translating to the business class.
You guys see what I'm doing right now? I am saving. What was that horrible freaking
You're
nightmare.
doing okay. I don't want to give you too much credit because we're not at the end yet. You're doing well though. You know, I taught you a lot.
Here we go.
The Tetrino Master. That's what they're called, Tetrinos. So I think that's a little bizarre, but I am very interested to see what they have in store next.
Yep.
Obviously, some people have to fill those shoes.
Oh no!
I hit the wrong button.
You hit up on the D-pad, didn't
Yes,
you?
I
It's
did.
the worst. The worst. Listen, people who made Tetris Effect, I actually don't remember who the developer is. You did a wonderful job. Please, for the love of God, do not make up on the D-pad. Instant drop. Awful. Absolutely awful.
Because it does the opposite of up.
Well, you get so used to it because you're going fast, and all of a sudden just blow. You're like, oh man.
It's the worst. And on the same note as PlayStation, we actually know the PlayStation Plus games for November. This month we are in. And so for the month of November, you can have access to Neo, which is a Soulsborne-like game made by Tecmo Koei. Completely revered, all exclusive for the PS4, so you have no other place to find it. We actually may eventually play it for a game night here, mostly because I've been wanting to try it, and it'd be really cool. Also available is Outlast 2. I find that very bizarre, only because Outlast 2 would have been the perfect perfect Halloween game. And they did MLB The Show and one other game Last of Us, right? Last of Us is great. Why would you not put MLB The Show in November? And, I'm just saying, PlayStation, hire me, okay? I can organize this loot for you. I lit up Tetris. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Good job, buddy.
The game.
I've done it like 5 times now.
Ooh, I've done it 5 times now. Give me the controller next, sir.
Okay.
Once you're done with this. Speaking of games that are coming out for free, November's Games with
You like how he wants me to give it to him while it's all like nice and pretty?
Give him the storm.
Okay. I'm just kidding. That's messed up. That was
you
not
do whatever you
intentional.
want.
That was
I'm not afraid.
intentional.
November Games with Gold include for the 360 Sherlock Holmes and the Devil's Daughter in the Final Station. Both of those are offset, so the 1st through the 30th is Sherlock Holmes, the Devil's Daughter. The 16th through the 15th of December is the Final Station. I hate that they do this. It drives me up the wall. I'm like, just make it 1 month. Come on.
Yeah.
And then that's Xbox One. 360 would be Star Wars Jedi Starfighter and Joyride Turbo. Same order, same thing. It is always interesting to compare the two. I mean, you could also start comparing with Epic, because Epic is also dropping free games. But I do believe one of you will have to drive while I do this. Oh man, look at those results. I did really well.
Yeah.
I gotta see, what can you expect? But that being said, it's still free games. If you pay for the service, more than likely you're paying for the online. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're giving you games. Put them in your library. You don't have to play them right away. You can always come back to them later.
Yeah.
Like, look, this game has such a flower flow to it. It just feels so good. Oh, the sound, the music is just poppy, and it's relaxing at the same time.
Where did you left off
You
here?
guys talk about games of gold already?
I'm jumping around, which is the worst part about it.
Watch the world burn, Metcalf style.
That is correct. Yeah, we have talked about Games with Gold. We talked about PS Plus. We talked about Gio Corsi leaving.
I'm going to change it up because I like to talk about the old Muskie Musk because he's one of
There you go.
my favorite
Treelon Musk, if you will.
Treelon Musk donating $1 million to a tree planting charity.
It's funny because as soon as I saw Alana Pierce post something about that, he was like, okay, here's your money. I was just like, asking you shall receive. We need air to breathe. And honestly, I think it's just, his thing going on in the background where he's like, I need oxygen because without oxygen, I can't run my cars.
Oh, no. Okay, so he's giving it to a charity drive that's been organized by YouTubers and Fortnite streamers.
That is correct.
That's neat. The Team Trees charity drive.
Slide it like from
Organized by Mr. Beast. That's pretty neat, actually.
Flip.
They're aiming to help the Arbor Day Foundation plant 20 million trees. Each
lovely,
tree
yeah.
funded by a $1 donation, which is actually, I'm kind of surprised. That's super cheap for,
Oh, 100%, yeah.
like, for what, I'm surprised you're able to buy that like that. Oh, of course, Marquez Brownlee, one of the biggest Elon Musk fanboys out there, tech YouTuber, Marquez Brownlee, anyways, one of the biggest Elon Musk fanboys out there.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was playing a game last night. You guys weren't there, so.
No, it's a good charity. It's a good good cause. Anyway, if you guys haven't seen it already, look up Teen Trees and give them a little support anyway.
It's $1. Like you can sacrifice $1 to help make sure that we have oxygen
breathe.
on the planet.
You know, because if you're
You can also do your part by, I don't know, conserving energy at home using energy-saving appliances. And
just for all those, Lil Dicky fans out there, one of our household members here is we love the Earth. It is our planet.
It is our planet. That is correct.
We love the Earth. It is our home. What else can we talk about?
Keep
here?
jumping around, man. There's all
did you
kinds
hear
of stuff.
that Google bought Fitbit for $2 billion?
You surprised the hell out of me with that earlier today.
Yeah. So I had heard
A resident
something.
techie is not happy about
I'd
it.
heard about that because the funny part is I was talking about it a little while ago with some other people, and we were talking about specifically we have a program with health insurance for obtaining an Apple Watch for free as part of the health insurance plan, and the idea is you have to earn points with the Apple Watch to pay for it, essentially, by being healthy, by going on walks and raising your heart rate and being active and whatnot. So
Okay.
we were like, well, what would the Android equivalent of that be? And we were like, well, it had to be a Fitbit, but it's not a Google specific product, so how does that work and all that stuff? Well, now it's a Google specific product, so
Yeah.
there you go. I think they kind of needed to step into this space with a company that already has a successful watch line.
I agree with that.
Because the Pixel Watch has been rumored and rumored and rumored to no end. So it's about time that they finally took some action, I guess, for someone to step in or some product to step in and kind of take the throne on that one. So I'm super excited actually for this because I think Google might be able to do a better job with it. But Fitbit's done wonderful as it is, and unfortunately I don't want to turn it into a Pixel type device,
Yes, I agree with that too.
That's one of my concerns, but other than that, I think that's actually going to be a really good acquisition on their part.
It makes a lot of sense for what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I also like John's conspiracy theory.
Which is
So, you turn off all your Google device, you don't know where I'm at, I don't want you to know my location.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
I remember.
but you're not going to turn off your Fitbit now, and because you're going to want to use it to talk to your phone to, see how many steps you took, where you ran, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going to still know where you're at.
Yeah. Well, so, I guess to that point, because we were having a conversation on Mark
this
Holt
game
about
is.
this earlier. There's nowhere good for that either.
That was a bad swap. That's what that was.
You can swap again.
I can't.
Oh, God, never mind. I was a liar.
Yes,
I'm
you were.
a big, fat fucking liar.
You're a phony.
I'm a phony.
I'm sorry, to the point of them tracking you even whenever you turn off location services with your phone. That actually won't matter because the majority of the Fitbit devices don't have location services. For example, Brent, the Fitbit that you and I both have. Oh, actually, well, I guess you've got the
Alta.
And I think I've got the... I can't remember what it is now.
I mean, my Blaze did.
I have the something 3.
I mean, my Blaze would. I think it.
Well, so the Blaze, the bigger ones, the ones that are square shaped, they have their own GPS antennas.
No!
Ours,
Me.
for example, don't have GPS antennas in them, so they can't track location like that. They like mine, for example, doesn't even have a microphone or anything like that. The only thing it does have is an NFC chip, so that I can do mobile payments. I
Okay.
gotta slip that underneath there, dog.
Oh my God,
What is happening?
Brent.
I moved.
Oh,
Oh, no! It didn't drop. I hit drop.
Oh man. I mean, I think it's still cool overall, though. I mean,
yeah.
Google's gonna get its hands into everything. I mean,
That's what they're good at.
Fitbit's a strong company with a strong product, so
Ooh, that was a close one.
I'm not overall the last one I had was the Blaze. I wasn't overall.
Oh no!
Me.
Oh man,
Every time.
yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot here you've missed.
Oh,
I'm catching as much as I can.
Overall, I haven't been too happy in how some of the products were. The band degraded way too fast for what it was.
Yeah.
My product.
I know you had it.
Are you a
I
savage?
keep hitting the wrong button is the problem.
So depressing to watch because you're gonna get to a certain point where you're gonna have to hand it off to me.
It's like watching a kid eat a Kit Kat bar the wrong way. He just bites them all at once.
You want to slap the kid?
Ah!
Oh no!
Fight
Oh
to the
no!
end,
That's it! There it is!
Man.
No, I'm not passing it yet. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I had it. The problem is I keep thinking that X's drop. Because in my brain, you would drop it with X, you would turn it with with these, and it drives me up the wall.
Really?
Yes, 100% yes.
I'm sure you could probably change it in the.
See, I guess like my big experience playing Tetris, just because this is one of my mom's favorite games. So whenever like I'd play like arcade style, it was always a rotate button, and then you had the joystick to go left and right, and then you would pull down to speed it up as it drops.
Okay.
There was no up function, of course.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say the up. I don't remember if the up function was there for the Game Boy. It might have been. But I do remember
I don't think
speeding
it
it
was.
up
No.
with the down on the D-pad.
For the OG, I don't think there was.
Well,
I
it was
put that flat on
DX.
the
It was
bar
Game Boy
left.
Color DX.
Flat bottom. Okay, that works too.
He's a Satanist.
Listen.
That's how he gets into these situations.
I've got it, okay? You guys keep talking.
You didn't have it earlier, obviously. So.
I obviously had it. You guys were distracting me. Thank you.
Toads.
Thank you.
There's a lot going on with Blizzard right now, I have to say. Do you guys feel okay with how Blizzard treated the... I mean, we said earlier that it was kind of
we
a
talked about this
hollow
one a little
apology,
bit, I think doing any kind of apology at this point's hollow. Like, they really don't mean it regardless.
do you guys feel like it's going to affect sales of future games?
I think unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, no.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to.
Realistically, I would like to say it's going to affect my decision, but the problem is realistically, Blizzard's one of those companies that just puts out way too good of products. You know, it's like fighting against Amazon or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Give in to the machine.
Like how many people stop buying things from Amazon just because like they ended up in a worker strike and all that stuff?
It's tough to make that decision. It really is. Because you have to do what's good for you and what's convenient for you. I mean,
But we've always said you're never going to win a battle against a company without fighting them with your wallet.
that's
yeah,
also
100%.
true.
I mean, that's literally a company's purpose is to make money. So I mean, fighting with your wallet's literally the only way you're gonna be able to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the investors and everybody else is going to be like, whatever you're doing, it's wrong, it's stop.
Yeah, exactly. And for Blizzard, I don't know if that really matters. They've got Activision behind them, and as long as Activision supports the decision that they're making, then like nobody's really going to be able to say anything about it. And I don't think Blizzard as a division is going to go anywhere, or a division of Activision is really going to go.
Well, them making so much money over in China
get
is
it, division.
kind of a
At the
pain in
vision.
the ass. But at the same time, like, I can respect the fact that they're trying not to make everybody mad. They're just trying to, calm the storm that they didn't even ask for.
They didn't ask for it, but they definitely started it.
But, well,
They definitely made it
it
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like, I got a fire. What do you want to do? It's like, throw the red can on it. And it's like, that was gas. What
Yeah.
did you do that for? And you're just this kid going, you said to do something.
I agree 100%. They were like, hey, we're just going to go ahead and apply gasoline to this burn. You're like, come on, guys.
And it's like, this kid, he's, talking about his homeland, his home country. I get it. It's not what
Something
you
that's
want.
important
It's
to
not
him,
about
yeah.
games.
And-
You can make it all about the rules you want to, but in the end, you still look like a douche.
Well,
Oh,
so,
100%.
So I don't blame them for coming down on the player.
That was interesting.
we talked about this a little bit already, but like I don't blame them for coming down on the player like that. I blame them for coming down on the casters, which I think is absurd. But I think the entire overreaction anyway of like, let's go a year, let's take his entire earnings away from him just because he won a tournament and said something we didn't like,
Well, it's not that they didn't like it. They never came out and said, we're not for it, we are for it. This was against our terms of service that he had agreed to.
But that's kind of the problem in my eyes of like, I didn't mean to do that at all, is the fact that they are, by not standing for anything, it just makes it like, it feels more glaring, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a lot more like, okay, well, I'm going to play the corporate douchebag. I'm going to punish you for something, but you're not going to tell us, exactly where you stand.
Yeah.
It's like that. I don't accept that as a person, let alone, a consumer.
Far left.
You guys are actually fucking me up more.
How did I do that?
Not you. I'm like, as you're telling me what to do, I'm like, all right, I got an idea.
He's got this. Let him save himself, okay? He's got this.
Or kill myself, one of the two.
Or set me up for failure.
He's definitely gonna screw this up before he gets back to you.
That's not true. I'll screw it up well before that.
But I mean, I didn't want to. I just wanted to react because I know that we didn't really talk about too much on how we felt it was going to impact them economically. We did talk about all the other stuff and how it affected other people. And,
Oh yeah.
but it's this whole. I mean, I have noticed recently that there's been a lot less talk about these events happening in China lately, and it makes me really wonder why we're not hearing it.
Right.
Because it is something still going on. It is actually something that we are a world-bound country now. Like everything affects
Yeah.
us on every.
As much as people want us to be an isolationist country, it's just not feasible. The world doesn't work that way any longer.
Well, so like I started picking up some other podcasts and whatnot recently, and one of the things it wasn't about this topic in particular. It was about what was happening in Mexico with the drug cartels. Anyway, outpowering the Mexican army.
Oh, speaking of that,
'Cause that was
watch
a-
Dirty Money about HSBC. You'll learn a lot more
yeah.
about that.
That was a big deal. But what transpired anyway with the all of that anyway, it's like why should we be concerned about that? And the first reason he gave is, well, one, as human beings we should care about that. Two, as our neighbors they should care about that, which is unrelated here. But one is, as human beings we have a moral obligation, moral responsibility to kind of concern ourselves with what is happening in the rest of the world.
Yes.
So we kind of have to take a stance, and unfortunately, by not taking a stance on something is kind of taking a stance in and of itself. To some
Yeah.
extent.
No matter what, you end up making a decision, regardless of you separating yourself from making
Right.
a decision.
Unfortunately,
Whoa,
they
what
made-
was that?
Unfortunately, they made a very big decision, or took a very big stance on it.
What did I do?
But there's no drop time.
It just changes.
Yeah, they're not-
environment
well, they're not
changes as
dropping
you
at all.
Go through
No, they're not dropping. I get to decide
It's
when
like
to drop
some
them.
space. It's
The
like a
Final
space part of the
Frontier.
level.
No,
When I first saw this level, I thought of you because of the cogs and stuff.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I hit a button and it did this. I want you both to know that.
Really?
No, I know. I saw
Yeah,
that.
I hit something and that's what's causing it.
Oh, it's the zone. I've never used that before. I always forget it's even there.
That was incredibly confusing to someone who has never played this game before.
I totally forgot about that. Like this, it does it where you like just stop movement and it gives you a chance to think a little bit more. But I've never really used it. I always forget it's there. A lot of companies making a lot of big moves lately. You know?
A lot of big moves, and I think you can argue back and forth as to whether or not they're the proper moves. Granted, proper's a really
It's a loose term.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Sean Layden thing. Like, where did that come from and why? Like, what could have possibly have happened that would have pushed him out in a time like this? And
Well, but it was like that's the big question though. Like, was he actively pushed out?
there's
Did he
no
decide
way he
to leave?
wasn't. There's no way he wasn't. That's not how you separate from a company on good terms.
But
I mean,
again, we were just speaking earlier about how he is still actively supporting PlayStation properties, and
I think he's just being like, hey, I think that's a slap back at them saying, hey, you know, I'm your guys' spokesperson that I've got your back. I've always been about Sony. And maybe it was a, hostile takeover on someone else's part. You know, they were trying to push him out and he's like, hey, I'm always the one that got your back. Just know that. I am.
it's entirely possible. It's hard to say at this point, unfortunately, because we just don't have the information.
No.
Yeah.
And the speculation is part of what we do. We enjoy it, but it's also frustrating because we're sitting here going, well, why would you do that? It makes no sense. And
Well,
now we're
exactly.
sitting here
Does
going,
it actually
"Ugh."
have a bigger impact on something we do care about? It's like maybe there's something going on with the PS5 that could have been affected, and it's his fault, and that's why they're like, get the hell out.
And that's entirely possible too. We just, given the information we have, we just can't
no way
know
to know
or
that,
won't know, and that's what's frustrating.
But
Because we can't stop.
and we won't stop.
I thought I had
That's
that.
not rapey.
Wow. It wasn't.
It wasn't until you said that. Now it's just a little bit.
Just
Which is just the amount of like rapey you don't want.
What? Pretty sure you don't want any rapey, but
Yeah, exactly. But you also don't want a little bit. Don't worry about
As
it.
opposed to a lot?
Yes, correct.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on, shall we? I mean, we are actually in the fall release, and quite frankly, we haven't had a whole lot of time to catch up with one another. So is there anything one of us or any of us are excited for? I can go first, don't worry.
Yeah.
Death Stranding, of course, is at our doors, and at some point in time, we will do a game session with it, because I feel like we kind of have to.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Not only to talk about how fucking weird that game's gonna be, but
It's gonna be intense. But I'm also really like shocked on how the mixed reviews have been.
really, I okay.
expected a Kojima game to be a blow away, like everybody loves it. Now, granted, you're always gonna have your random people, not IGN. Like I figure that those people would be like, oh, I'm all for this. You know, it's quirky, it's very Kojima-y, but that's not really in the way they went. And to be honest, everybody got super structured with the way that they were reviewing these in order to make sure that people understood exactly where they came from. Because they knew that the backlash from a bad rate for a Kojima game of this magnitude was gonna come with a lot of scrutiny.
This is true. I agree with that entirely. But I also think that the
When we say bad, I mean it's 6.8.
6.8 is what they gave it, which, you know, if we're gonna go by their scale, 6.8 is still good. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad game.
Or it's
by
okay,
any
actually,
means.
is what it lands on. I think it's fascinating simply because you are correct. Like, I was also expecting something similar of like, this is a Kojima game, and not just a Kojima game, but like, quite frankly, he gets a lot of leeway in terms of his weirdness, being able to, like, people write it off as genius.
Yeah.
And I was expecting that to happen here. It did not. Not for everyone, I should say. There are definitely people who love the game, and it seems to come down to a lot of how people view the theme, if that makes any sense.
What do you mean the theme? As in
Like,
futuristic apocalyptic?
no, I think more of the theme of the story. Because what a lot of people are viewing as like pivotal or inspirational, other people are calling off as not necessarily lazy, but like the gameplay just doesn't support the what he's going for.
The heaviness of the story.
It's just not enough to, I guess, allow them to let it through, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So I'm really curious myself of how I feel about that. That's not what I wanted to do. Ah, look at that. If you're not making moves, you're standing still. It's my new theme that I stole from another podcast person, but that's fine. Don't worry, I got it, guys. That made me nervous too.
No, you were talking about him making moves or whatever, like quick moves or whatever, making you nervous. That one made me nervous.
Don't worry, it made me nervous too. I had no idea what I was doing. Which is pretty much how I run this podcast
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
Not sure what I'm doing.
You never know what you're gonna get in this bag of chips.
Is this a bag of chips? Crisps if you were in
Box of
the
chops.
UK.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
We'll go there.
Copyright strike.
Yeah, right.
Listen, Tom Hanks, you don't own chocolates nor boxes.
It's alright. I'll talk to Tom. It'll be alright.
Thank you. I mean, you are good friends.
Yeah.
You live right next to him, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't that be cool if we actually lived next to Tom Hanks?
I don't know.
See,
He's one of those guys where I can see that, like, he's really cool, don't get me wrong, but he's eccentric. To a point where you're like, you just don't screw with Tom.
see, I like the eccentricness of him. So I feel like I personally would be incredibly happy living next to Tom Hanks. Because I would come over and just be like, yo, I need some sugar.
Tommy H.
Dude, he seems like he would be the neighbor that would be like, hey, I'm really gonna need you to move that lawn gnome.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, like it just freaks me out. It's just I don't like it. Can we just get rid of it?
I really don't see him that way. What, like, is there a specific role or film he has been in that makes you feel like he's that?
Nope, not
No?
at all. It's actually not about that. It's just the way he like kind of presents himself. Like it's just like I could see something bothering him like that,
Okay.
and then you becoming like mortal enemies, and he just wants to get rid of you.
So there's an older film he was in called Neighbors, I think. No, The Burbs. That's what it is.
Burbs.
The Burbs. Yeah, it's an older film, and that's actually really funny that you say that because he kind of was that character.
Oh yeah.
That's not at all what I wanted.
Man. Shit.
Oh no.
Don't you worry, folks.
It's recoverable. But
Not easily, but
Not the hardest of the recoveries, but
I'm figuring it out, okay? It's almost like we planned this to be clincher, right?
it's definitely a clincher. I'm clinching pretty hard.
Here's the clincher. That's a great Chevelle song, by the way.
I thought that was a Chevelle song.
No!
Oh no!
Oh!
How did you do that?
I'm special.
Or something.
Now saturate. Listen, everyone. Oh, we're all so worried about Brent. Oh, he doesn't know how to play Tetris. I know how to
No,
play
it's just like look at this game. Like everything is like. Can you imagine seeing this in
It's-
VR while you're playing this?
It's almost like it's too distracting for us to do a podcast, dude.
It is mesmerizing. It's crazy. Well, I mean, we talked
I don't
about
know what
most
the-
of the
I
news.
don't know
We're
why
just
you did that.
we're just enjoying.
Don't worry about it, Mark. This is not your game. This is not your life.
I have to watch it though. I can't help but cringe.
Dude, Mark, you were doing that much better, bro.
I know, but
Just go. This is what makes video games fun.
This is what makes video games fun.
Like,
I don't like any of this at all. I'm making moves.
yep.
such a heathen.
I kind of like doing it now just because it bothers you so much.
Well, it's like he's got this perfect thing, and he just like turns it upside down, like sticks it up, like.
At the last second. It's almost like he has plans. He must have friends.
That's a dangerous play.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Woo, baby! I didn't mean to do that at all. That was bad. Where are we going?
This isn't going well for you, but I'm just saying.
Oh, there it is. Win. Boom.
This is very educational television. I'm sure people are loving it. No! I was too late! I was too late! No! Alright, so we
Which
did
I'm
that.
pretty sure would have ended that too.
It would have. It would have been the end of the whole section.
Yeah.
That's why I was so excited about it. What can you do?
What else we got, Brent?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's my phone is locked and I have all the details. Oh, come on, you got this, buddy. Kojima Productions, we were talking about our boy. He has decided that his studio will not only create games, but their eventual goal will be to release films as well.
Which I'm excited for because he seems to do that.
Anyways, yeah, so a quick history lesson on Hideo Kojima. He went into video games because he did not finish film school, wanted to make movies. So he has basically been trying to make interactive films through video games. It feels like a lot of people are aiming for Death Stranding to feel very similar to that, right? On how it like conveys emotion and the acting itself, bringing in all these top names that are helping to bring apart the plot and everything else.
I can see Sony backing him.
So it's interesting because Sony technically doesn't own Kojima Productions. They simply help
Oh, no.
fund the start.
Yeah, I know, but I can see
they're
them backing him.
producer, or
Yeah.
what is it? Producer of the game.
As a matter of fact, they're not even releasing the game on PC. Oh, no, it'll be somebody else. Oh, isn't it fun when it happens to you, Mark? It's so easy to judge when you're in that chair, isn't it?
That's gotta fix it.
Yeah, you did something. We'll find out. But I agree with you where I think that it's going to be wonderful to see him actually expand out the medium. And it's not even to say that he will be creating films. He just says Kojima Productions will branch out to that. So
Yeah.
I think 100% he's looking to create an environment for artists to just create. And that's what he wants. So
Make this happen.
Yep, I was about to say you had it.
too late,
And then
buddy.
you switched, I was
Too
like,
late.
what?
Just a little too early.
it's kind of nice when you're sitting here just judging on the person playing. Isn't it great?
Yes,
Ain't it judgment, Jimmy? Who cares?
makes you feel good about yourself.
But that's really it for the news this week. And of course, we have already told you this is a double episode. We'd recorded 2 episodes in one night because 2 of us are leaving on vacay for next week, so we will not be
Deuces.
here.
Leaving me to fend for myself.
Correct. And hopefully one day complete a Tetris. Jesus. I'm just kidding. He's doing really well. He's doing better than I am.
I can't believe how animalistic this game is making you guys. This is great.
It's not really the game so much as you. You're like trying to egg us on. You're like, oh yeah, look at Mark. Oh. Just saying, you put it out there. But please let us know what you think about the Tetris Effect. Did you enjoy it? Was this a fun romp for you?
Would you like
watching
to
us?
see it in the VR version?
Because we are going to do some VR sessions. We're trying to poll the crowd for whatever games are available and what you think would be fun. I have a couple in mind myself. Please let us know what you think about Kojima Productions, the monthly games coming out, your own take on Blizzard, whatever you feel like talking about, to the comments to the left of Mark. He can't correct it because he's in the middle of playing a game. He has to concentrate. But it is true, it sits over there like an ungainly beast, always growing, ever growing
As opposed to a gang leader?
amongst you. But until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
He almost gave her the Tetris for it.